Today during class, we're going to be working on a fun new project. What do you guys think about this? How it has the primary and secondary colors. And then this piece of artwork. What do you guys think we're doing today? If you guessed geometrical shapes and trying to hide your name in them, then you were right. Do you think you can hide your name from your classmates? We're going to start the lesson off by getting our paint ready first. So on a paper plate, we're going to add a drop of red in the top, a drop of yellow on the right side, and blue on the left side. And now we're going to mix our secondary colors. Now that we have put all of the paint on the plate, we are going to mix the colors. Red and yellow make orange. Yellow and blue make green. Red and blue make purple. Now we can practice our block letters. If you're on your first attempt, you like your letter, then you can go ahead and grab the fresh sheet of paper and start writing your name using the block letters. Now that you are all done with your block letters, we will start squiggly lines and straight lines. So for squiggly lines, we're going to try and add as many as you want. The more you have, the harder it will be to color in the spaces. And then once you're done with your squiggly lines, we'll start with straight lines using our ruler from the top to the bottom of the page and side to side of the page. Once you are done adding all of your lines, we will go ahead and trace over all of the lines with a black Sharpie. Now that you have created the Sharpie lines on top of your pencil marks, we are going to erase the sheet of all the pencil lines so that only the Sharpie is being seen. As you are coloring, you'll probably want to try and stay with one color for a few spots so you don't have to rinse your brush as much. And you'll use a bigger brush for bigger spaces like this one or this one. But once you get to the smaller spaces in your letters, you're going to want to use a smaller, finer brush. And as you continue painting, you'll start to see that the colors will blend together as you continue, and it'll make it harder to be able to find the letters of your name. And once you are done with one color, it doesn't have to be fully done, but when it's time for you to switch, you're going to rinse and dry your brush, and then you'll start with the next color, which I will be doing here shortly. So as you're finishing up a color, you're going to dip your paintbrush in the water and clean it off and dry it. Make sure there's no residue of the previous color. And then you're going to decide if you're going to use a different brush or the same brush. And then you're going to go right into the next color. My next color is going to be yellow. So now I'll use the yellow to fill in more of the spaces. And right now I'm trying my best to keep one secondary color with the primary color, so trying to switch off on which ones I'm using so that you can see the pattern of the colors and how they create the new design of your painting. So I have my first yellow went right next to my purple. My purple is a secondary color, so I tried to get them next to each other so you can see. And as you know, purple is created by using red and blue mixed together. And now I'll start my next yellow box. As I'm doing this, I'm still trying to stay in the lines to the best of my ability, so you don't have to use the Sharpie as much when we finish up on the touch-ups. So now you just keep coloring, and as you're coloring, you can think about what shapes you're coloring or how many sides they have. So try and think about it a little bit as math too, because this is about the geometrical shapes that you have drawn throughout your pattern using your block letters. So you want them to sort of guide you in a way so you have a better understanding of the shapes and the colors you're using. As you start to get into the middle of the page where your name is, it will be harder to decide what color to use because there are more colors surrounding the area. So if you have to have two colors on top of each other, that is okay, but make sure not to use the same color if it's a big space next to a big space. If it's two little spaces, it'll be hardly noticeable. Now as you get into the last step of painting, you will finish the few spots you may have left, and then once that is fully dry, you will go over all of your lines with a Sharpie. This will make your project look neat and have clean lines rather than the spots where you may have colored outside of the lines with your paint.